Do you want to learn to be a better Magic the Gathering player? Well, sometimes the way we play, the at-home rules and stuff that we do can really, really hurt us becoming better Magic players because we rely on those rules. And if you ever get into some kind of tournament or you're in some kind of event where you've got to be structured by the rules, you're kind of like, oh man, I'm not as good. I thought I was better at this or that. And one of the biggest things that most people do and they bypass is learning how to mulligan. Well, welcome to MTG Tuesdays Tips and Tricks, and I want to teach you how to mulligan. I want to help you learn how to mulligan better and how not to shortcut mulligans. Yes, I understand. Sometimes playing on streams, it's easier to make sure people have, hey, make sure you have a good hand and all of this stuff. We don't want you going into 5 cards unless you're like playing a CDH deck, because it's just not going to be fun for the stream. Or you're playing for other friends and you're like, just get a good hand, just get a good hand. The problem with that is you just rely too much on being able to shuffle back up and try to get you a decent hand. Whereas you don't know what's a good hand and what's a bad hand. You just kind of know what is a good and doable hand because you're like, oh, this is playable. But if you learn to mulligan right, you can know exactly. Because in Commander, and this is something you learn and get better at if you play 60 card too. I'm not saying you have to play 60 card, but if you give a 60 card a chance or limited, you don't get a free mulligan. So in Commander, you get one free mulligan, you get that chance to look at a second 7, which a lot of times take it. Unless you have a really, really good hand or a hand that's like, this gets me going, go to that second 7. What's it going to hurt? Honestly, you don't want too much land in your hand. 3, 4 at the tops, I guess, if you really, really need it. But honestly, 3 lands in your opening hand is probably good enough. Some form of ramp and some early play, if you want to do something early. And then you don't have to do something turn 1, maybe with turn 2, like an Arcane Signet, or into some kind of version of Cultivate on like a turn 3, or you're moving up to get ramped up, get some pieces out, get some card draw, things like that. But you don't want like 4 lands, and then like a 6 mana spell, and like a 5 mana spell, and that's it. And you got like a turn 1 play. You got to be careful with you. So you want to look at your hand and know, what can I do on turn 1? If there's nothing, okay, what land should I play then? You want to look at that. What lane can I play? Oh, I got a tap lane. I can play a tap lane on turn 1 because I've got nothing else to do. We're talking more casual here, not CDH. But even in CDH, you can look at that too. And maybe you don't have a turn 1. Well, sometimes in CDH, you have turn 1 plays typically for the most part. You're going to have something to do. But in normal play, we're talking brackets 1 through 4. You want to make a turn 2 player, usually something like an Arcane Signet, a Mind Stone, some form of ramp, because you've got to get moving up and get going. If you don't, if you go too slow, you're going to get behind in the game because everyone else is going to ramp. And there are so many pieces of ramp in the game now. It's so easy to get a turn 2 play, a turn 3 play, a turn 4 play where you're ramping up. You're putting in some form of card draw or card advantage for yourself. You want to be advancing the board. When you look at your hand, you want to be like, I've got 2 lands. That's okay. But on 2 lands, I need to hope I have a piece of ramp in my hand to get myself. Also, what is your commander cost? Do you have your commander colors in your hand? Because if not, or do you have any color? Like you look at your hand, you're like, oh, I've got a red and white card, a card that requires red, but I have no red mana, or I have no way to get red mana. Well, it's probably going to be put that away unless you have a way to go get that mana in your hand, which is a ramp version. Just take your time and stop shortcutting it and learn the mulligan. Go to that second 7, look at it, and be like, is this a playable hand? Is this a good hand? And sometimes we take the hand so quickly because we just want to go real fast. Like, oh yeah, it's okay hand. But you could get a better hand. You could have some kind of remove. Especially if you're playing a deck that's going to get a commander out early and maybe it's going to cause problems. You need to have possible removal in your hand or something to deal with that early on. Keep that in mind when you're playing. Every game is different and it depends on what you're sitting at and playing at a deck. Even CDH, when you sit at a table, sometimes you can look at your hand and be like, I'm playing against this color, this color, this color. But there's only one other blue player at the table. I might be able to go a little bit faster and not have to have right as much interaction to possibly go for my win right away. Or you may just try to go for the other way and find some other ways to do wins and stuff like that. Just look at your hand, practice, practice, practice. Go Goldfish and Mulligan and be like, okay, this is a good hand, play it out, see what happens. Because here's the thing, a lot of times people think, oh, I'm good, I've got 1 land and Soul Ring, I'm good to go. But then you're stuck there for the rest of the game for a while to get any other lands. You don't have any ramp or anything else. And a turn 1 into Soul Ring is a great play and it's a great filling. But it's not great if you can't do anything else after that. You just sit there and like, don't do that if you're going to get yourself in trouble. Play a little bit smarter. Learn to mulligan better. Practice mulligan. Everyone is different. Everyone knows their deck, and as you learn your deck, you should know what you're looking for in your hand. When I'm looking for Kinnan, and this is my deck, my CDH deck, so when I'm looking at Kinnan, I'm like, what do I need for Kinnan? I need some form of mana rock, mana dork to get out early, probably some form of interaction, counterspell, removal, bounce spell, something along those lines early on. possible way to get Kinnan out, but also do I have a way to get any of my win cons early on? What do I got? I'm talking about casual deck. One of my craziest casual decks is a 6-mana commander, right? My goal is that it's a mill deck, but it's also getting my commander out as quickly as possible. What do I need to do? I look at my hand and be like, do I have some ramp? Do I have some ways to get mill happening on the board and go from there? Because I don't want to get to 3 mana and be stuck and then never be able to cast my commander. Keep that in mind when you're playing. I know longer video, but I like doing these discussions. Let me know your tips and tricks for Mulligans. Get better. Stop doing all the rules and all the fun stuff. Yes, I understand sometimes if you want to go quick and play a quick game, just get a good hand and go play. But if you learn a Mulligan, you're going to be a better player. You're going to know how to play better. You're going to have more fun at the game. You're not going to lose as often because you had bad hands. Because honestly, one of the biggest things is you lose games not because your deck is bad, but because you don't know what a good opening hand is, and you keep a bad hand and it costs you a game or multiple games. If you learn how to mulligan and get better, and this is something that took me, I'm still learning. Because every time I play, I'm always trying to figure out, should I mulligan, should I keep, should I mulligan, should I keep? And there's times where I'm like, oh man, I went ahead and kept a hand, and I ended up regretting it because I lost the game because I kept a hand that was eh. It comes with losing, it comes with learning, it comes with practice and time. Practice, get better, and learn to mulligan. And if you have any questions, drop them below. We'd love to ask you about mulligans, love to answer any questions you have, and love to hear your tips and tricks on mulligans as well. And as always, we'll see you next time.